Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Tom Sawyer Show here on HBC TV 25. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thank you for joining us. Tom Sawyer Show brought to you by Wellington's Pub and Grill, and Coach Tom Sawyer joins us after another win, 3-0 start. Let's talk about the game on Saturday, just your quick reactions to how things went.
Well, actually, it went really well. I mean, we knew they were a high-powered offense coming in with the Carr and Gibson. Those two guys together have put up some really big, prolific numbers, and so we knew what we were getting ourselves into. We wanted to start fast and those kind of things, and we did. So guys were amped up. They knew they had a good team. They were 7-4 last year, and I don't think we took them lightly at all. And the overall day it was hot. It rained. We had all of it, including gnats. We had everything. But overall, the game, I was very pleased. We got the job done to win the game, and we won it with an opportunity to play a lot of kids. That's always great, especially when you're playing at home.
I want to ask you something that Bob Ernest and I were talking about during the game. You gave up a lot of yards defensively to them, but you didn't give up the scores. So it seemed like the defense was really clamping down when they needed to, kind of gave them their space to do whatever they wanted to do, but then stopped them right away. Was that kind of your analysis too?
Yeah, it was. And, a couple of those long drives, in the second half too, they put a lot of yardage up, but, they also turned it over 6 times or 5 times or whatever. So our defense played well. It was hot, and that zapped us a little bit, and they were out there too long, and we just couldn't get we had some, the momentum piece that I talked to the team about. Really, we didn't get what we were hoping for is, get our defense off the field and get our offense out there for sustained drives. I remember at the end of the game, I'm like, okay, we need a 9-minute drive here, and we went 3 and out, so that didn't work out so well. But because they were playing a lot of defensive kids, but that's hard. That's a hard thing when you got a vertical passing game that they were running, bubble screens, you're running all over the field, chasing those guys around, and it's much more taxing on a defense than it is offense. And so they got tired, and they had long drives and put up some big yards. But our guys are resilient, and they're very proud. And we only gave up 1 touchdown the first 2 games, and we threw an interception for a touchdown in the other one. But our guys have really been playing well and up tempo, and that was hard to do on that particular Saturday.
Let's talk a little bit more about defense. You brought up the turnovers, and Nick Pridgeon had 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery just in the first quarter on his way to NSIC Defensive Player of the Week honors. Talk about that and about just the turnovers in general that you forced.
Yeah, I told him I don't know why he took the rest of the game off. We expected 9 out of him or something, but he's phenomenal athlete, and what's so good about him is that he's doing things right. And then the big plays come to you, and that's where he had one just fall in his hands, a tip ball, but he's there, he's in the right place, and he's also an exciting player. And the guys around him rally. The defensive guys, especially in that secondary, we'll talk a little bit more about it with Cam today. But they're flying around, and when the ball's in the air, it's as much ours as it is theirs. And but Nick is a great player. I'm really excited for the kind of game that he had.
I thought it was funny. He didn't get Team Defensive Player of the Week. Adonis Brown got that.
Yeah, we look at it a lot differently than the media does. We look at effort, and of course Nick had a great effort too. But Adonis really had a tough assignment. We put him on Gibson, who's an All-American wide receiver, and he played him the whole game, and just about every single snap, and really held him in check. In fact, he was physical with them every snap off the line of scrimmage, and so that was tough. Was the biggest challenge of the day, although Nick got some accolades because he got his hands on some footballs, which is great too. But we thought that the individual effort by Adonis was special.
Excellent. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the offense because you put a lot of points on the board. Talk about what you saw offensively for the Warriors.
Well, I think we really played well, and I'll start with our running back group. Eric Berth is here today, and he'll talk a little bit more about it too. But we had 2 guys that got in the end zone for the first time in their career at the running back position. I thought Darren played exceptional. Again, he threw 1 bad ball in the first play of the game, and the first pass of the game, and threw an interception. But after that, he was right on. And kids caught the ball in big moments. Isaiah Franson played exceptional. He's now knowing what he's doing and playing at a higher level, and kids are now rallying around that. So it's really coming together, as we talked about last week, trying to get all this together. It's starting to happen, so it's fun to see how explosive we can be.
You talked about the guys that got their first touchdown, Landon Jacobson, and then Sam Santiago Lloyd, and I think it talks about the depth that you have in the offensive positions. Santiago Lloyd only played a couple of plays. He had that one 40-plus yarder, and then he gets in the end zone afterwards, and then we didn't see him the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think we're right now, we're doing it a little bit by committee because, our goal is to stay healthy. That's the first thing, and if we're going to, we travel 4 running backs, and if we're going to do that, we got to get them all reps. And, Sam had been in the game at St. Cloud. He's been on special teams, so he's getting some of those reps, and Landon had to take a year off with a knee injury, so he hasn't scored a touchdown since he was at Grand Meadow. In the state championship game a couple years back. But Eric Berth is the leader of the group right now. He's doing a nice job. Javian coming off a hamstring injury. Now he's getting healthy. But we'd like to keep all these guys healthy throughout the year. So, even though a lot of places they just run one running back, right now we're going to go by committee a little bit. And a guy who's hot gets the most of the reps. And right now, Eric has been that guy for us.
And then you played Javian a lot in that second half. Yep. Was that just to get him reps, get him kind of in the groove of
Yeah, a little bit. Like I said, he's coming off an injury. We're really just starting to see. He's very explosive, and he's got some top-end speed that we like. And so right now what we're trying to do is, then he unfortunately fumbled one of the first snaps. So we pulled him out, but also the way that we're going to put him back in and not bury him because he made a mistake. But he actually ran into one of our own guys, and that's how it fumbled. But more importantly, it's to get him to recover, to flush that, and to come back. And I thought he handled that well. The play coming out of the end zone, hitting that one for 20, and then he hit another one for 10. Back to back, and then it was like, okay, now he's back. So it was good. It's a learning process for him as well.
All right, one last defensive question before we end this segment, and it was one that we were kind of talking about during the game. What Moorhead was able to do was run straight ahead on you guys with their running backs, and you were able to stop them once it got inside, the 20 or something like that. But when you see a play that's consistently working, what do you do then the next practice to try to stop that?
Well, we try to tell their coaches to quit running it. They were running a little T-rap, and it's an old-fashioned power play, but it's a one-back power game. And they would just set up, let it sit up, and then he'd hit it. And we were there a lot of times. If you go back and look at the film, we fell off quite a few times. So there were some opportunities that we had to tackle the kid, and we got to do a little bit better job of that. We don't tackle a lot in practice, so when you get the opportunity in the game, you got to make the most of it. But then I think we got better as the game went on. But that's always something that you line up similar. They run the same play. It's going to happen similar. And you try to just beat it with one-on-one matchups. You get closer to the end zone, now the safeties like Cam Gavin and Andrew Spencer and those guys, all of a sudden they're more part of it, and all of a sudden they're hitting it at the line of scrimmage. So when you got them spread out with one back and 4 receivers, you got to play that with really 6 men in the box. They have 5, you have 6. And if they don't block one and put 2 on 1, they have an advantage. So we just have to win those battles. And I think what we did as the game progressed, we got better at it.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Tom Sawyer Show. We'll go defensive first. Cam Gavin will join us right after this.
With so many new items on the menu at Wellington's Pub and Grill, you're in for some tough decisions. 6 different salads, homemade soups, huge wraps, juicy steaks, the Wells' own smokehouse ribs, and as always, the best burgers in town. See, we told you it wasn't going to be easy. Log on to wellingtonspubandgrill.com for daily lunch and evening specials. With so many choices for lunch and dinner, you can never come to this well too often.
NASCAR racing is about a whole lot more than just cars going around a track. It's about people who drive, people who engineer, people who plan, people who know how to put it all together. Meet the people who make the cars go round every week on Raceline. Watch Raceline here every week.
One of the most important steps in getting into your dream home is being able to sell your existing home.
We're trying to help families get top dollar for their current place and get them into a home that works for the family.
Yes! We want to show practical steps that people could use to get that top dollar.
Oh, wow!
It's so important to know where to spend the money when you're renovating your home to sell. You have to appeal to the most buyers possible.
Catch an all-new Property Brothers Buying and Selling. Wednesday night at 9, only on HGTV.
When you're out there in the bush, you gotta adapt.
There's a lot of risks living out here.
I gotta make it work.
Go! It's a never-ending battle. But it's the only battle I know.
And welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show on HBC TV 25, brought to you by Wellington's Pub and Grill. And Coach Sawyer, you brought one of your defensive secondary players with you.
Yeah, Cam Gavin is here. Cam, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for bringing me.
Appreciate it. The first question I got for you is go right to it. Talking on the defensive side, 3-0, you guys are playing exceptional. What's going on, especially in that secondary, that you guys are playing so well?
I mean, we all just love to be out there with each other. We see every opportunity to get on the field as a way to make another play for our team, So it's just fun playing with Andrew, Cole, Adonis, Isaiah, anyone that comes in.
And you guys are flying around a lot, and you've been very active, and now you're really starting in your second year already, and you're only a true sophomore. So what has the growth been for you in that secondary to where now you feel like you've been around there for a long time?
It's just nice to have Andrew back there with me since he knows everything about the game and about the defense. So he helps me out with all the little stuff. And then it just seems like since I played a lot last year, I can help out other people,
Okay. Let's talk about, what you guys did last year and now this year. Of course, we talk all the time about top defense in the NSIC last year. Carry that over to this year and keep that going. What do you think it is about this defense that it's been able to consistently been this good?
I think it's just that whenever we get on the field, like I said, it's just another opportunity to make a play. Mm-hmm. We could be backed up on the one going into the goal line, and we'll still want to be out there, And we're just happy to play with each other. We all trust each other, just love each other.
All right, let's go back to your high school days in Illinois. I understand you have a connection there with Winona State.
Yeah, my high school coach, Coach Lokank, he really got me to come here. He told me all about it, Coach Sawyer, and just his defensive stats. Like, he was an All-American, so that kind of drove me to want to be an All-American too.
It gives me flashbacks a little bit to having to face off against him. Talk about the success of the program there, because I believe your senior year you were in the state tournament?
Yeah, in our program we had very good coaches and a lot of athletes on our team, which Trey Tellez is now here with me again. It was nice playing on that team because it was just like here, everyone wanted to play with each other. There was we had ups and downs, but we would always come out on top.
All right, you're a basketball. Yeah. You're a basketball player too, and that program was not very good. And then the last couple of years that you were there, you guys go to state. What was the turnaround there?
It was just like a Cinderella run. I don't know. We just got hot and we just couldn't be beat, I guess. It was just fun playing with them too. Everyone loved each other, like I said.
All right.
You look at playing on our defense and playing against quarterbacks like Demetrius Carr and receivers like Gibson, and almost every week we have this kind of thing happening in our league. How excited do you get to, when I talk about it on Sunday before the game about this high-powered offense, and here they come. What does that do to motivate you guys?
We just like to face a good challenge and just try to show our skills against them that we practice all week in practice, So we like to face good people,
The other thing is, obviously you're involved with all the special teams as well, and you're out there for about 80 plays last week in that heat. How tough was it to that kind of a game to be on the field as much as you guys were?
It was tough towards the end when the heat it was just too much. We couldn't really breathe. They were going fast paced, but we just knew we didn't want to let up any scores on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and obviously, not giving up very many touchdowns, but when the ball's in the air and you guys start flying around, what's that like when you see that ball coming your way?
Your eyes just light up and you just know you got to make the play and then just get the crowd into it and all our teammates.
I expect that when you get your interception, maybe this weekend, that you won't get tackled or run out of bounds like Andrew did or like Nick did, or Cole. Somebody's got to take one to the house. Will it be you?
I hope so. I hope so.
I got to ask you quickly about what you were talking about Moorhead and the way that they were playing defense. They came out really fast, quick offense, quick snaps. Then they slowed things down. They would look over to the sidelines, and then they do that again right after halftime. What was that like to have to try to adapt to that style?
It was kind of hard because I think they were trying to see where we were going and try to target Gibson more. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to show more to his side just so that we could slow him down more.
Okay, last question that I have for you. You posted a picture on your Instagram after the Bemidji game, I guess, of your mom and your dad, and you were talking about sacrifices. What kind of sacrifices had to be made for you to come to Winona State?
Just a lot of time my mom and dad put in. They got us out of a bad situation, and now I'm living a pretty good life. And my mom, she's a teacher. She works at the church. She works her job. And just for her to come see a game, it just means a lot to me.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you for joining us here today, and good luck this next week.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Tom Sawyer Show. When we come back, we'll go offensive with Eric Berth right after this.
With so many new items on the menu at Wellington's Pub and Grill, you're in for some tough decisions. 6 different salads, homemade soups, huge wraps, juicy steaks, the Wells' own smokehouse ribs, and as always, the best burgers in town. See, we told you it wasn't going to be easy. Log on to wellingtonspubandgrill.com for daily lunch and evening specials. With so many choices for lunch and dinner, you can never come to this well too often. Ever wish you could just swing by the local office to pay your bill quickly rather than calling a toll-free number and speaking to a machine? When you join the HBC family, you get that and so much more with local office locations and customer care. Whether you have general questions or would like to upgrade your services, HBC is here in your community, providing an unrivaled, personalized experience. Switching is easy and installation is free, and we're so sure you'll love HBC, we offer a 30-day guarantee. Visit hbci.com to learn more or call 888-474-9995 to experience the HBC difference.
Fox Thursdays.
The game is simple. You name the song, I give you some money.
It's time to make sweet music with host Jamie Foxx.
But this ain't Dancing with the Stars.
It's a race against the clock.
Man versus machine.
As 3 teams battle it out.
Somebody's about to go down.
For $1 million.
That's so much money.
Beat Shazam Thursdays or watch anytime on demand or Fox Now.
Welcome back to The Forge.
Greatness is forged.
We're doing something that we've never done before.
When limits are tested.
Oh!
The hit series.
Oh my God, did you guys see that?
Everyone's buzzing about.
You will have to forge not 1, but 2 knives.
Ow! Hey, wait, is that oil?
Let's do this. Starting to ache, everything's spinning.
Starting to get a little nervous. Call an ambulance. This will cut.
An all-new Forged in Fire. Tuesdays at 9 on History.
And welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show on HBC TV 25, brought to you by Wellington's Pub and Grill. Coach Sawyer, we have a return guest in Eric Berth.
Yeah, we got Winona's finest, Eric Berth. great to have you here, Eric.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, let me ask you right away, going in, Justin asked me earlier about, kind of running back by committee a little bit, but how is that for you as one of those guys that I was talking about?
I think it's great. Like we're all like for each other. We're all excited with it. Like whatever one's on the field. Like it's never like usually like when there's competition between like each other, like in a position group, like you're never really like friends with each other. Like it's like, but with us, like we're all like we love each other and we're a complete family.
You look at that and you're getting the bulk of the carries for each of the games, but you've also been through a series of injuries that you've overcome over the years. So that's been part of our plan, but. Now as the leader of the group, Paul was there for a couple of years, and now you really have taken on that role. How has that changed for you in your preparation?
I feel like it hasn't really changed a lot because like we're so close to each other. It's never really me just being the leader as a group. I feel like Landon, he's a big leader in the group. Javen is the leader in the group. I feel like we're like how you say we're kind of like a committee. I feel like it's also a committee like leadership wise. So it's never really me just being a leader, but I feel like it's pretty easy having those guys around.
We always challenge each other for touchdowns, and we have a lot of fun with that. And those we got 2 new guys with Landon and Sam got in the end zone for the first time last week. As the guy who's leading us in touchdowns, how excited do you get when you see those guys for their first time? Because you remember what that was like a couple years ago.
Oh, I went crazy for Landon because it's been a while since he scored a touchdown. So that was really exciting to see. And then Sam, him being a true freshman playing this year, it was really fun to see him get in the end zone too.
Awesome.
Coach talked about the injuries and everything that you've kind of overcome in your career. With that, you're a junior this year, you have 1 more year. What does football mean to you?
For me, football is everything. I probably wouldn't be where I am now without it, to be honest with you. So, being able to continue on after high school and to actually stay in Winona, it means a lot.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Winona itself. Do you still have a connection with the Winona football team, Coach Casillas?
I for sure do. I'm trying to make it to every home game whenever we're not traveling. So I have 3 cousins on the football team too, Terrell Hall, Robert Warren, and Justin Obiofu. So being able to see them actually continue on with our family and continue on playing the same sports that I played in high school, it's pretty exciting.
We talked with Cam about his basketball, how he was able to kind of help rise up his program. You're kind of the start of the resurgence in Winona football. What is it like to see them go to the Prep Bowl last year and get off to a good start this year?
It was crazy, actually. I mean, and then how they're doing this year, it's insane. Like they're just blowing teams out. It's not even like a competition for them anymore. So being able to see them do this, it's really exciting, and yeah, it's fun.
We're looking at a relationship being here from Winona, and we have a couple other Winhawks with us too, but it is a challenge to go away to college when you're actually really just going across town. But how has that adjustment been for you, being in Winona, going to college, and still trying to have that college life?
I feel like it's actually it was easy for me to actually get adjusted, but being able to have my family around, being able to still have some friends stay in Winona, I feel like it was actually like an easy transition wise. But then we also moved. We lived outside of Winona, for the first part of my college career, and now we're in Winona, so that's actually helped out a lot better too. So
yeah, your roommate is Marley Allison, and he's a transfer in here. So you guys are about the same age, but his first experience, and you've been here forever. How has that been as adjustment to bringing in a new guy into the team?
Well, I met Marley our senior year of high school in the Minnesota High School All-Star game. So we got close there, and being able to have him in Winona now, it's helped me even more. He's a committed guy, always working hard. So being able to be around that helps me work harder too.
Absolutely.
I'm always looking on social media to find questions to ask everybody. I believe there was dinner at the Sawyers with the running backs this past weekend. Tell us about that and what that means to kind of bring the units together.
It was actually really fun. Like we all, we sit around the table, talk about stories. We all went to a movie and out to eat last Tuesday, so we talked about that. Was laughing about that. It was pretty fun last night. It's always fun being able to go over his house and have dinner. Especially when it's free food and he's cooking for us. So.
I like that. Last question that I have: you put a challenge out to Coach Sawyer on social media. There's this college football team that found out that their coach was a backup dancer for MC Hammer and had him do his moves, and Eric said he'd like to see you do the similar moves.
Well, he's seen me dance, and it's not anything that's going to go into print or on video anywhere. I can play the drums, a couple beats, but that's it as far as my musical skills. Right. The challenge is off.
One last question. You had a couple touchdowns last week. Great game again this week. What's your goal for this season? Do you have a personal goal set?
Really, my personal goal is just I don't really have a personal goal. All I want to do is win games, get to the national championship as a team, and then I guess I do have a personal goal. It's pretty much to make the entire season healthy. Being able having an injury bug over the past few years, kind of and being able to be healthy now it's good for me. So just really trying to stay healthy this entire season.
All right. Well, thank you, Eric, for joining us today, and good luck.
Yep. Thank you for having me.
All right. We're going to take a break here on the Tom Sawyer Show. When we come back, we'll talk about this coming weekend right after this.
With so many new items on the menu at Wellington's Pub and Grill, you're in for some tough decisions. 6 different salads, homemade soups, huge wraps, juicy steaks, the Wells' own smokehouse ribs, and as always, the best burgers in town. See? We told you it wasn't going to be easy. Log on to wellingtonspubandgrill.com for daily lunch and evening specials. With so many choices for lunch and dinner, you can never come to this well too often.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone. Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
There's 5 things I care about: the economy, healthcare, sports, education, and respect for Tom Brady. I am inspiring America. You and I have a lot in common. Like this. Yeah. To be interesting, you've got to be interested. I'm not trying to be relatable. I'm elevatable.
Colin, you're on fire.
I may have just changed the entire world.
And welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show here on HBC TV 25. I want to ask you something. When we were doing the pregame show, we did it in the Hall of Fame in the IWC, and while we were there, we had all these groups of football players and their families walking through and getting the tour of Winona State Family Day. What's that like? What does that mean to everybody?
Well, there's 2 things going on. It was truly Family Day for our general students, so they had their families walking around, and then we had over 50 recruits here with their families, so we were touring them as well. That's a huge part of our recruitment. We always try to get get kids on campus if we can. We call it 5 touches. To try to get him here for camp. We try to get him here for junior day, try to get him here on a game day, and then also try to get him here on an official visit if they're one of our top recruits. So that's a big piece of it. They get to see and hang out with our red shirts. You saw those guys walking around with them. They get to meet us, our staff. We talk briefly from the community. Kevin Capel talks to them about his experience around our program. And really, it's kind of a marquee day for here's what our program is something that you want to join. So it's a pretty important day for our recruiting.
Do you get to talk to them like after the football game then? They stay and watch the game and then you get a chance to talk to them?
You know, I don't a lot. There's a few kids I meet afterwards. I talk to them as they're coming in. So we meet with them as early as 10 o'clock in the morning. And so it's pretty busy, you know, prior to the game. But a lot of these guys we have met either in our camps and we'll go back to their high schools here in December as well. But really it's just about the first touch of really getting them to know us and seeing if we move up on the top of their list. And I think with all the things that we have going on in our program right now, it's a pretty good sell.
All right, sounds good. This week you make the big trip to Minot. Talk about that. I know that's one of those longer trips. You know, how do you keep the team fresh? How do you keep them energized?
You know, anytime we go with the team, it's fun. And we always complain about it, that it's halfway to Canada, or, you know, we can see the North Pole from there and all those things. But really, it's a chance for us to go get on the bus with our staff and our support staff and our players, and let's go have fun for a couple days. And it really is a lot of fun. I mean, it's travel, and you play music and, you know, talk to each other, but you know, we're doing it together, and we're spending time with kids, and there's nothing better. I actually enjoy that. There's less to do from my end, so I enjoy that. But being together, you know, whether it's 10 hours or it's 4 hours, it's still a lot of fun with the players.
All right, I know that Minot's kind of having a down year. How do you match up with Minot?
Well, I think they're better athletes than what they're showing on paper. They always have a group of new kids almost every time because we don't play them every other year. But so really, the focus is on us. We know what they're going to do offensively and defensively. We got all the film broke down already in those things. But this is about us playing at a high level on the road, which you have to do in this league, and you got to win on the road. So there are some real big tests for us for our own growth, and that's what we're really pushing for this week.
All right, how are you doing injury-wise? I know I saw a couple of players on crutches after the game this week. Any timetable for returns, and how healthy are you overall? Actually,
we're pretty healthy overall. I think that, you know, you saw Vince Falico, you know, he was on crutches, and he's a possible this week. I'm not sure at center, but Colin Valley just moved over from guard and really didn't skip a beat there, so that was good. So maybe one more week with him, we'll see. And then Cole Liberty went out later in the game, but I think he's going to be fine. We'll see if he gets on the bus this week. But, you know, at nose guard, you know, he's a monster in there, so we'll see. But, you know, neither are long-term, which is always good. You know, you play a football season, it's, you know, we're going to have some of those. But the team has responded well, and we should be ready to go.
You kind of talked about this earlier in the show, and I know you've talked about this season after season, but how hard is it to decide who's actually going to make the bus and who you're going to take with you to go to Minot?
We talk about it every day. We started with that conversation on Sunday, and you know, so as we do a preliminary list, and then we do another list on Tuesday, then we do another list on Wednesday, and sometimes we don't make that decision until after Thursday's practice, and then we'll call a kid and say, you're going, get your stuff, and you're going to get on the bus in the morning. So it really is about the value of that kid that particular week. If they're on special teams or they're not, all those things weigh into it. Health weighs into it. You can only bring 55 players, so that's only 26 players per side of the ball, plus our 3 specialists. So it's very limited. We have to leave some really good kids home, and we leave some kids home that have even started games for us because of the particular week that we go.
All right, sounds good. And then you'll have your luncheon this week as well?
Yeah, Thursdays at noon at the Riverport. It's always great. I think Darren Beankin and I'm not sure who the other one is right now. We'll be there this week. But, yeah, it's been great. We had a great crowd last week. And you know, when we're 3-0, we should have even more people. And hopefully with 4-0, we'll have more the next week. So right now, it's been great. Riverport's really been fun. And we do these same kind of things, but really highlight the players again.
All right, Coach. Thanks for joining us, and good luck this week against Minot.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time here on HBC TV 25.